In this world, nothing is eternal. The sun will set, the darkness will disappear, the waves will fall silent, and the stars will not stay in the sky forever. The path of life is like a clear stream, flowing endlessly without looking back. We are the same, like birds flying over the vast ocean, flapping their wings and then gliding over endless waves. Change is the law of the universe, as Buddha once said. All things are impermanent. I come here, like a drop of dew in the early morning, sparkling in the dawn light, then breaking when the sunlight shines through. These moments, though hasty, are wonderful, because only change can bring us awakening, an awakening that can only be felt in the flow of time. Each change is an opportunity for us to renew ourselves, to love ourselves, and to open our hearts to the world, like the wind carrying flower petals from one place to another. Nothing is forever. There is only change. And in that change, we find peace, clearly understanding that everything that happened yesterday has passed. Today is a new horizon, without regret, without nostalgia. We can let go so as not to be prisoners of the past, to allow change to lead us to new shores of love and wisdom. Only when we understand that impermanence is the beauty of life can we live most fully. So let's move on. Let the currents of life flow by, like a stream that still flows quietly, like a wind that never stops blowing. Happiness is to grasp those moments of change and let them teach us how to love, how to be free. That alone is enough to see that life, in the end, is still wonderfully beautiful. This life, everything we have ever clung to, the peaceful memories, the beautiful dreams, cannot be kept in our hands forever. Like a flame, from the moment it burns strongly to the moment it dies out, it is also a natural transformation process. In the end, what remains but a fragile streak of light in the endless space? That is the nature of the universe, the mystical doctrine that Buddha taught. By seeing change as an indispensable part of nature, we find peace within ourselves. We often want to hold on to moments, to hold on to what we love, but we do not know that the tighter we hold on, the more we suffer. Buddha taught, live in the present, love with an open heart, because today is not like yesterday, and tomorrow will be a new beginning. It is change, constant transformation, that is the driving force for each of us to find our true selves. Just as a tree must shed its leaves to be able to sprout, we must also let go so that our hearts can be light, so that our souls can receive love and light. Change is not a loss, but a transformation, from a withered flower to a new seed, from a small drop of water to a winding stream. In each of those changes, we find creativity, peace in every step, every breath. We are not the brightest stars, but each soul is also a small star sparkling in the vast sky, finding its own place in a constantly rotating universe. Embrace every change, like welcoming every new morning, bright and full of hope. Instead of worrying, let's be grateful that we are living in a magical world of impermanence. Happiness is not something waiting ahead, but the way we open our hearts to the present, letting ourselves go in the flow of change. Let's love today, live fully in the present, because only when we know how to change can we truly find peace. In this vast world, when everything changes, we sometimes forget that it is in those changes that we find the true value of existence. What we call loss is just a natural process, a rhythm in the operation of the universe. Just as spring turns to summer, the yellow leaves fall and then become soil for trees to grow. Changes in life are the way we clean up, creating space for new things to come to us. So don't be afraid when things disappear. It is life's way of washing away the dirt and nurturing new seeds of hope. When a big tree has to let go of its withered branches, it has no regrets. Winter may bring coldness, but through it, spring blooms, giving that space fragrant flowers. So why should we be afraid of change? The only thing we can do is learn to let go. It is not about letting go of what we love, but about letting go of attachment, the so-called steadfastness in one place that makes our souls no longer free. We must let go of the past, leave behind grudges, temporary joys to continue on the vast path of the present. Each person's life is like a long flowing river. So, let the water flow naturally. Let time pass us gently. Because each passing moment will never return. Buddha taught, each breath is a birth and also a departure. If we know how to accept, each breath, each step will become sacred, gentle, and meaningful. It is change that makes us feel that we are still alive, still existing, and even in that constant change, we realize that we have grown up, have become more perfect. Nothing can stop in life except ourselves if we hold on too tightly, are too afraid of change. So let life be a constant flow, and we are just passers-by, gentle and peaceful. Time will always push us forward, so why not walk with faith in the future, with a peaceful heart, not clinging to the past? Let go, to see that you have not lost anything, but have given yourself freedom. So that one day, when looking back, we will smile at the changes that have passed and understand that in that flow, we have found ourselves, found eternal happiness and freedom. There are times when we stand at a crossroads in life, at crossroads full of worries and anxieties. Everything seems to freeze in our souls, like raindrops falling on a calm lake, making our hearts beat faster, excited, but confused. But is it really necessary to worry? Can we realize that in those turns, change is calling us to move forward? That is the law of the universe, as Buddha said. Like the wind blowing, everything will eventually disappear. We see change not as loss, but as a transformation in our consciousness, in our souls. The waves of suffering will eventually calm down, and we will see the water surface calmer than ever, our souls more peaceful with each step. Every change is a lesson in life. What is important is how we accept it, with an open heart, like a bird in the sky, free to fly, no longer afraid. Because only by letting go we can feel light. Each wave rolls over, then caresses the fine sand, dragging the sand grains into the deep sea. And in that moment, when looking back, we realize that we are like those grains of sand. Each moment of departure, each suffering, is a small turning point in our great transformation. The more we understand that life is not fixed, the more we can grasp each passing moment, integrate into that flow in a natural, peaceful way. So don't be afraid of change. Every dawn is an opportunity for us to be reborn in our own serenity without having to fight with what has passed. Only by gently accepting change is the key to bringing us to happiness. Just like the river continues to flow, even though the mountains and hills change shape, life will always continue whether we stop or not. Let's cherish each moment because we cannot live it again. And when we let go, we don't lose anything, but we find true freedom. So, if you have to step over the stumbling blocks, go ahead. If you have to face the pain, accept it. Each change is not something to be afraid of, but a gift from the universe, inviting us to grow and become more peaceful every day. And life, miraculously, is a journey of change, always accepting, always loving, and forever changing. At that time, we realize something simple but profound. Only change can bring us endless peace of mind. The flow of time does not stop, and neither can humans, who cannot stand still for a moment. Love, pain, insecurity, they all pass. Like the morning dew, the morning can sparkle on the fields, but soon the sunlight will dissolve it. It is in that impermanence that we truly realize that love is not about holding on, but about giving unconditionally. Sometimes, love does not need to hold each other's hands, but only needs two hearts beating together, even if only for a short moment. With each stumble, we learn something new. Each time we let go is a lesson about freedom. The seeds of wisdom begin to sprout in our hearts. The Buddha taught, "What does not belong to us, why hold on? Let go of what does not belong to us." It is in that understanding that we let go of all fear, all anxiety, so as not to be dependent on a state, a moment, or a certain fame. Each change that comes, like a breeze blowing through the heart, will no longer be able to entangle us, and it is the lightness in the heart that we realize the true freedom of life. That change, like the waves on the ocean, seems so powerful, but is actually very gentle when we accept it. Just like the sun sets every evening, giving way to darkness, but then tomorrow morning, the dawn will rise, continuing a journey that never stops. That is the endless cycle of life. There is no end, only new beginnings. In that moment, if we understand that impermanence is the principle, we will see this life become gentle and elegant. Like lotus flowers blooming in the mud, we can also rise from pain and hardship, no matter how everything around us is changing. In each moment, we learn to love those hardships, to love the changes they bring. We cannot avoid the storms of life, but one thing is certain. When we are willing to accept change, we are no longer afraid of challenges, but instead, we feel at peace in all conditions, in all challenges of life. Whether it is wind, rain, or the burning desire in our hearts, everything will pass, leaving a peaceful soul. So, every time we encounter pain or great change, we should not only see the wounds, because in them, we can recognize new light, and sometimes, even in the quiet darkness, we can see bright stars, stars that guide our souls to the path of peace. Do not hold on to the past. Do not try to hold on to what has passed. Walk gently through this life, like a cool breeze, free in every moment. If you are afraid of change, find a way to welcome it with sympathy and acceptance. Only when you accept the flow of the universe, you will find true support within yourself. Because change is not the end, but just another beginning for newer stories. And when the light shines again, we realize that every step through change is a valuable lesson about inner freedom, about growing and maturing. Like a river flowing forever, no part is repeated. Every moment that passes cannot be returned. If yesterday was sad, today will be a new day, a day of serenity, a day of letting go. We are people who always seek peace in our hearts, regardless of any challenges that life brings. Remember, every step is a growth. Every change will make us sublimate. Impermanence is the nature of life, but it is also what gives us freedom, something we cannot hold on to, but can only let go and let life turn itself. Live like that, without fear, without denial, but let your soul be pure and free, like the spring breeze. Change is inevitable, and it is in that change that we realize the true value of life. Every time the leaves fall, spring will return. Every time the sea rises, the sky will become clear again. Life is like a river, never stopping to flow, whether it is morning or evening, whether it is raining or sunny. Nothing can last forever. Everything is just passing moments. So let's cherish and live each present moment to the fullest. Let each wave of emotion in us, like the rolling rivers, take away all worries, so that our souls can be at peace. Humans are not born to hold on or beg for eternity, but to learn to let go, to see that it is in the things that cannot be held that we find freedom and peace. No matter how strong the storms are, no matter how deep the wounds are, we can always stand up and rise, like the lotus rising from the mud to bloom beautifully. Accepting change is opening a wide spiritual door. Being alive is an opportunity to experience, to learn, and to grow. Change comes without warning, but if we look at it with understanding and compassion, we will see that it is a valuable lesson, teaching us how to blend into the great flow of life. Everything we have will become memories, and those memories will help us grow more mature, live more calmly and peacefully. Life is beautiful, not because it is easy, but because the challenges, hardships, and sufferings have tempered our souls to be more steadfast. The hurried moments will also pass, leaving only peace in our hearts when we understand that everything in this universe has its reasons, is part of this boundless flow. Each change is an indispensable mark on our journey. Nothing lasts forever, but it is precisely this impermanence that makes life so precious. We do not need to fear change, because it is the path for us to return to ourselves. Let us open our hearts to welcome all changes with a peaceful heart, and let life become a meaningful, full, and complete journey. Live to love, live to feel, live to learn, and accompany all the changes that life brings. Finally, as the Buddha taught, master your thoughts, because everything comes from the mind. And our mind, when pure, will never be affected by change, but will always be at peace in the midst of the ever-changing world.